of Kenya, a live studio audience is about to shoot unscripted questions. This is Agenda Kenya with Jason Nyantino.
Many thanks for joining us. Welcome to this very first edition of Agenda Kenya Season 6. Tonight on this program, we host Honorable William Samoei Ruto, Member of Parliament, Eldoret North, and presidential hopeful on a URP ticket. My audience members come all the way from Kisumu County, Machakos County, and of course, Nairobi County. Welcome aboard. Our first question is from Philip Opio. Philip is an employment consultant.
Honorable Ruto, my question is very simple. Your name has been mentioned several times when it comes to International Criminal Court as a suspect. Do you still think it's proper for you to run for presidency of this country when this issue raises some question when it comes to the Chapter 6 of the Constitution?
Mheshimiwa.
I think what you have seen about the Hague issue are allegations. And those allegations have been made against me and against others, just the same way allegations have been made about other people in other issues. You don't measure a crime by how much is alleged. You measure a crime by whether it will be proven or not in court. And therefore, I have read the Constitution. In fact, I helped draft it. Back, forth, between the lines. Nothing stops me from running for president of Kenya. And I intend to exercise my constitutional right to run for president of Kenya.
So, facing these charges, they are serious charges, of course. Don't you think do you pass the integrity test?
Oh, absolutely.
You pass the integrity test.
Do you have any indication that I won't pass the integrity test?
No, I don't. I'm just asking. Now, very interesting. When you, assuming you win presidency next year.
Let's say when you win.
Yeah, assuming, okay, when you win. Mm-hmm. But I think I should say assuming.
Okay.
So assuming you win, and we know how the ICC process goes. It's a long years of trial. Charles Taylor of Liberia was there for 8 years. Thomas Lubanga of Congo was there for 6 years. So do you think Kenyans are ready to have a president who will be spending time in Hague instead of Nairobi or Kenya?
You see, if you have a judicial process going on, and you have an agenda for this country, the way we are in Agenda Kenya today, and you know where you want to take the country, right? The issues of the ICC are matters that will be handled by our attorneys, our lawyers, and as and when we are required to appear there in person, we will, right?
What if the court says you need to be there in person all the time?
Of course, you are not the court.
No, I'm saying, what if?
That is a hypothetical question.
Yes, but you need to tell us, and because you might be our president.
In a hypothetical situation,
yes,
the most difficult questions to answer are hypothetical ones, because they don't exist, right? And therefore, let us stick to the facts, yeah? William Ruto is innocent. And I have no doubt.
You're innocent. You're innocent until
in my mind.
Mheshimiwa, you're innocent until truth.
I have no doubt in my mind that in no time, all these wild allegations against me will be wiped away by the truth. Right? You're dealing with situations that are very peculiar. You're dealing with witnesses that themselves have confessed that they are criminals. You're dealing with a situation where documentary evidence, contemporary documentary evidence, show that I wasn't in the places they say I was. I mean, this is an open and shut case, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, the court will prove that. Let's hear the audience. Start with the lady in black. Your name, comment, or question, please.
Thank you very much. My name is Sonia Birdi. My question is to Honorable Ruto. Considering that, okay, you're innocent until proven guilty, but what about the hundreds and thousands of people who have suffered during the elections, the last elections? What is enough so that we can compensate them?
Thank you.
I think you don't ask an innocent man. Just, I would also ask the same question of any other Kenyan. It's a collective responsibility to deal with the issues of 2007, 2008. It is our collective responsibility. They are our brothers, they are our sisters, they are fellow Kenyans, and something has been happening, though not enough. And I think justice must finally be meted out to the people who are guilty. Yes. Not to innocent people.
If you're elected president, you'll be the chief executive of the country.
Absolutely.
What do we expect in terms of her question?
I can tell you for a fact that we won't have the kind of circus we are having today with the IDPs. The IDPs have made it very clear to government that if they cannot find land to give it to them, let government compensate them, because most of the IDPs today that have not been settled, these are people who had businesses in towns. And they have asked, if you can't find a piece of land for us, give us the equivalent of what you would have used to buy the land, 500,000 shillings. And we will be able to clear those camps in a week, and get Kenyans moving, right? Now, as we process the other issues associated with 2007, 2008.
Now, research carried out by various organizations has shown that only about 20% of Kenyans affected by the violence are ready to reconcile. So we're talking about another 80 who are not interested in conciliation, not unless probably they are compensated.
I don't know about that research. But to the best of my knowledge, many Kenyans, the majority of Kenyans want to move on. They want to be compensated if that can be expedited, and they want to move on with their lives. That is the best of my knowledge.
So with that
I can't comment on the research you're talking about because I don't know.
It was done by the Strategic Research. It's a PR firm, and many other organizations have done researches across the board. And the view that comes out is that Kenyans are not ready to reconcile. You've seen what is happening even in Tana River. We still have, the country is fragile. So we cannot assume that Kenyans will just unite and move on. How will they move on? Because we have had these things before.
I don't think you can bring in the issues of Tana River and juxtapose it with what happened in 2007, 2008.
But that was violence, nevertheless.
Even what robbers carry out is violence.
Well,
so you can't...
You'll be expected to address it as a president anyway.
So what I'm saying is, it is true we need to reconcile the country. But let me also tell you, Kenyans are a very optimistic people. They want to move on. We have drawbacks, but they don't want to live in the past. They don't want to be hostages of the mistakes of yesterday. They want to move on to the future.
Okay. Let's get to hear more from the audience. It's a forest of hands across here. The gentleman in a tie, comment or question, please. Your name first.
Yes, my name is George Unduso, and I come from Nairobi in South B. My question is this. In the recent past, Ms. Miwa, we have heard you blaming Honorable Raila Odinga that is the one who took you to the egg. But when we go back to Parliament, you were one of the people who said that the case must go to the Hague. Do you still insist that Honorable Raila Odinga took you to the Hague?
I'll take a second one, then you can respond to both, Mheshimiwa, please. Right in front here.
My name's Jake Kule. I'm from Machakos County. I'm an aspirant member of parliament. I wanted to ask Bwana Mheshimiwa, if today the ICC put you out and said you're guilty, would you come to Kenyans and offer an apology, a public apology?
Okay, thank you.
I will not.
Why?
Because if ever the ICC found anything to the contrary to my innocence, it would be a fraud. Because...
So you have already decided how you will respond?
I have not decided.
But you are telling us you won't apologize.
No, I have not decided. I know the facts. I didn't kill nobody. I didn't buy no guns. I didn't plan no violence. I didn't do nothing. So it doesn't matter how many judgments are passed that I am guilty. It doesn't make me guilty.
Okay.
I am an innocent man from beginning to the end, irrespective of whatever judgments are made in between. Are we together?
Yes, I get you.
Let me go back to my friend.
Yeah, George's question.
George is wrong on both facts. Fact number one, I voted for a local tribunal. Go and check the records. Right? I didn't vote for the Hague process, as you have alleged. Point number two, it is not me who is talking about whoever you are talking about. Go and read Miguna. It will tell you the story. I did not write
this. Just to take you back a little bit about you voting for the local tribunal, that's fine. But you have also been quoted, video clips, and unless the recording was faulty. But I remember seeing you saying there is no local mechanism that can offer justice to the Kenyans who suffered in 07. You have said that before.
My position has been there are crimes which are committed in Kenya. Those crimes are provided for in our constitution and in our law. Kenyans who burned people's houses, maimed their colleagues, caused violence, should be taken to court. That has been my position, right? And in any case, the vote in Parliament was not the Hague or a local tribunal.
What was it about?
It was about whether we are setting up a local judicial mechanism or we use the existing courts. That was a choice.
So when you said there's no local mechanism to offer justice, what did you mean?
How did I say that?
You were quoted as having said that. I saw that clip. Probably because you were saying at that time there was no local mechanism.
I mean, how would there not exist a local mechanism when we have our courts?
So that means I saw the wrong thing, probably.
Maybe you saw something else. But my position has been, we have courts in Kenya, right? And I think their credibility notwithstanding, or lack of it,
yes,
right? They are our courts. And the choice then was, do we establish a local mechanism outside the current judicial mechanism? That was a choice. And for your information, I voted for the establishment of that local mechanism, although it never succeeded.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Agenda Kenya takes a break. Stay with us, don't go away. Welcome back to Agenda Kenya with me, Jason Nyantino. Tonight on this program, we are looking at Honorable William Ruto's presidential bid. How does he want to have the job done if he's elected Kenya's 4th president? My next question is from Sarah Mudhoni, who is a student.
Thank you so much. I'm Susan Mudhoni. I'm a student from Nairobi County. Okay, Mheshimiwa, during the YK 92, that is Youth KANU 1992, you were the organizing secretary, and a lot of money was raised for campaign, which went to an extent that the inflation in Kenya was raised up to 45%, yeah? Okay, my question is, where did all this money come from, and which role did you play in that group? Thank you.
First, I was not the organizing secretary. First things first.
What were you?
I was a very junior member of the Secretariat of Youth for KANU. There were thousands of young people.
Could you share with us who the officials were? Chairman, secretary?
I think they are in the public domain.
Just share with us, because
you
were
for me
there.
to mention people's names. I think they are in the public domains.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember the top, I think 4 officials were Jirongo as chairman, Bomet as vice chairman, Munywa Wayaki as secretary general, and Sam Nyamwea as treasurer.
Okay.
Um,
Probably you could expound. What was Youth for KANU 92? Because we have a young audience.
Youth for KANU 92 was a youth movement then that came together to support the ruling party at that time. As to the money issues, I will exonerate the thousands of young people, including myself, that we didn't have an idea about the money issues.
But have you heard about this money issues?
Oh, yeah. The money issues were dealt at a much, much higher level than those of us who are doing the nitty-gritty.
So higher level, do you mean the chairman's level?
That is the level, the chairman and the executive committee level.
So those are the guys who should
which
get
we were not members, right? As we were singing, we were busy singing KANU ya jenga nchi, KANU ni mama na baba, Moi for president. That was our brief. And we did a very good job of it. And KANU won.
Okay.
I mean, the money issues are documented. They are part of public documents. And
what was this about money?
I'm saying, and the people concerned are known. Why are we doing guesswork? You know?
So, but you can confirm that all was not well.
I'm just saying, if it was Sololo, there are names, there are transactions, there are people involved. If it was a trade bank, there are names. There are people, transactions that are listed.
That's fine.
You know, why do we want to recruit every young person who was around and tell them, you belong to Youth for KANU, so you are guilty? I mean, these are documents that are available in public domain.
Yeah, it's good
let us handle them in that manner.
It's good you've told us what your role was. I didn't know you were a good singer.
I was.
KANU ya change. Our next question is from Jake Chule, who is a businessman. Chule, your question.
My question is, in this very unpopular Grand Coalition, you served as a minister, and in 2008 to maybe 2010, you were the agriculture minister. And that time, you were branded one of the most performing ministers. But at the same time, you were treated to a very serious scandal, which is majorly known as the Maize scandal, to a tune of about 23 billion. And your name has been put there. Every time you asked about it, you keep saying you are not involved. But you've never put it clear if you are not involved, who was and how many were there? Will you do that today so that your name can be cleared once and for all?
The Maize scandal. The Maize scandal is a scandal that never was. And I can look you in the eye and tell you It is a scandal that never was.
Could you expound?
No single bag of maize was lost. No single bag of maize was picked from cereals board without being paid for. This was just a grand scheme to try and undermine what I had done at the Ministry of Agriculture. I am very proud of my record at the Ministry of Agriculture. I have no regrets whatsoever, nor any apology. Let me come to you. I'll answer your question. Because that scandal was investigated by 5 agencies. It was investigated by the Ministry of Finance and cleared. It was investigated by the CID and cleared. It was investigated by the Kenya Anti-Corruption Commission and cleared. It was investigated finally by the forensic audit that was done and cleared.
By the Price Waterhouse?
By the Price Waterhouse, Coopers, right? That is the reality. What you saw there, suspend William Ruto, they brought a motion to Parliament. I explained. In fact, the strategic grain reserves were not under my docket. The strategic grain reserves where the maize was obtained, and I explained when I was carpeted in Parliament, was under the Ministry of Special Programs. Mm-hmm. And I said as much.
Okay.
Right? So this maize scandal was a political game.
All right, let's get to here.
And let me conclude by saying,
please.
And if you doubt, again, did you read what the WikiLeaks said about the maize scandal, about who are involved?
What did it say?
Have you?
Do you mind sharing with us?
Have you read Miguna's book?
Tell us.
It tells you who the people who are involved, and one of them was not William Ruto.
Okay. Let's get to hear the audience. I'll go this side now. There's a gentleman in a tie on the 3rd row.
I'm Malakaya Pudo Achola from Kisumu, a lecturer at Maseno University. Honorable, I just want to ask a question on your performance and your track record. I think much has been said about your agricultural docket, which you did quite well. And then I can remember that you also had a short term serving as a Minister for Higher Education. And during this period, I think you really championed for the double intake at the universities. And actually, after that, I think you left out. Things are now becoming a sham at the universities, and I think the whole university calendar is becoming a problem. The students are not even able to get the HEB loans in time, accommodation issues. It's like you did not factor in the infrastructure, the universities, and this is creating a lot of problems. So maybe if you win this race to the State House, what are you going to do to just improve this? Because you all know it's a common knowledge that our universities in Kenya churns out the cream de la cream of the economic managers of this country.
Okay, Malakai, thank you.
Thank you very much, Malakai. When I went to the Ministry of Higher Education, we had a problem. For your information, we managed to add an extra 400 million shillings every year for student bursaries and expand student bursaries to include students in private colleges, because they are Kenyan students as well. And secondly, students had to wait for 18 months, 24 months to go to university. I did 2 things. Number one, I had a chat with the managers of universities, and many of them, we agreed it was possible to remove this bottleneck that had been rolling for 15 years. And I am very proud today that even with the challenges that are there in the universities of accommodation and lecture space, we are actually dealing with that problem.
That is
because
fine.
of my initiative.
Yes, thank you for that impressive
you know,
record. What will you do now if you're elected president?
I will take it to another level. You remember I began the debate that education must be pegged on the kind of skills, technical or otherwise, that we need to achieve our long-term goals. I will make education relevant because there are 3 factors that are important in our education sector. 1, education must be affordable. It must be of good quality, and it must be relevant. Relevant is the word. There is absolutely no reason why we should be churning out people out of our highest institutions of learning when we know the courses they have done will not get them any job or will not take this country towards Vision 2030.
Okay, Mheshimiwa, asante. One more.
Let me conclude. One more thing. I managed to negotiate with government that time to put together what we were calling a university's bond, because I wanted to raise cheap money. Today, universities don't have enough accommodation because they go to borrow from private banks. They pay 20%. If my concept of a university's bond, if I had stayed there for another 2 months,
so was it accepted?
It would have matured. Yeah.
Was it accepted?
It was even announced by the president himself when we had the last graduation 2 weeks after I was fired in Maseno University. It was announced that the government was going to look at the possibility of putting in place a university's bond, which would raise 20-30 billion to upgrade our accommodation and lecture hall facilities in our universities so that we improve the quality of education in those institutions.
Good enough, Mheshimiwa. Thank you so much. One more. The lady at the back. Yes. Name, comment, or question, please.
I'm Agnes Munya, a student at Egerton University. My question is this. What are you, if now you are elected as the president, what are you going to do with the help? Because as we talk now at Egerton University, we are paying more than 40,000 per academic year. And even there are students who are getting 35,000 per year. Now that means that they have to get in their pocket and add more. And even the help, at times, it gets into our accounts late. For example, most of the first years did not get help as they were reporting. That is the 2012 students.
Okay, help you mean Higher Education Loans Board?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you.
First, I had 2 or 3 proposals which I had on help. Number 1, instead of making it an item that you have to apply for, you know, it is for us as government to know how many university places do we have and factor that in advance so that we don't have to wait for students to come and then make an application when we know very well that they are coming anyway. You know, we plan ahead of time. That's what we did. And that's the instructions I gave to the Higher Education Loans Board, that we shouldn't create a crisis out of an issue that we know for sure there will be university students next year. Why do we have to wait until they come and then we make it look like it's a crisis and begin to run around and end up with a problem like Agnes is mentioning? This is a question of simple management. It is not rocket science. It doesn't need any magic. It just needs forward planning.
So we expect a lot of progress from your presidency if you win.
A lot.
All right, thank you. We are taking another break, but Agenda Kenya comes back. If you're watching us from home, you need to answer this question so that you can be part of this conversation. Do you trust Honorable William Ruto as your next president? Do you trust Honorable William Samoei Ruto as your next president? Text your response to the number on your screen. Remember to give us your name and where you're watching us from. Agenda Kenya comes back after the break. Welcome back to Agenda Kenya, your award-winning talk show. My name is Jason Nyantino. Tonight we are hosting Honorable William Samoei Ruto, and we are looking at his presidential bid. How will he have the job done? My next question is from Bilali Butichi. Bilali, your question.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Ruto. What are we saying? Because from the history, your political career were nurtured by the former President Moi. Same to Uhuru. Yours was through the YK 92, and Uhuru was through the nomination that was made in 1998. Moi went ahead and nominated Uhuru, and at the same time made him his heir. You supported the idea. Then, it come the last elections, you parted ways. We are now seeing you and Uhuru uniting for the same cause. Okay, can you tell us, what are we seeing? Is it the same project, Uhuru, that is coming back in a different way?
Okay. Asante, Bilali. Mheshimiwa.
Well, Bilali, first, when you talk about working with Moi, there is no politician that I know of who has not worked with Moi. Let's be honest. Of the presidential candidates today, Musalia was working with Moi for donkey years, right? He was minister, he was vice chairman of KANU. Kalonzo was vice chairman of KANU, KANU minister forever. Raila was secretary general of KANU as long as, in fact, I took over from him, as secretary general. Who now? Kibaki himself was Moi's vice president forever. So, working for Moi is not an issue that anybody should discuss, because that is a matter that everybody has worked with him. Moi worked in this country for 24 years. You could not avoid him, right?
Let's go
to the point you have mentioned. This is an election. This is a democratic country. People can work with different players. At the moment, there are discussions, left, right, and center. And I can talk to anybody. I talk to Kalonzo Musyoka, I talk to Uhuru Kenyatta, I talk to Raila Odinga, I talk to Mudavadi. We are all Kenyans. I do not think we should erect barriers between leaders.
Yeah, Mheshimiwa, that's clear.
For us to move forward as a country,
yes,
we need to unify the country. We need to find the mechanism that will make us work together, compete.
Yes, that's clear
but
and positive.
That does not mean we are enemies.
Yes, I have a question for you, though, in terms of changing political parties. Because you were in KANU, you went to ODM. At some point, you marketed UDM very aggressively. Then now you're in URP.
Yeah.
So those are 4 parties. And if my calculation is right, I stand to be corrected, that is in a span of about 5-6 years, from KANU to where you are now.
Yeah.
So, on average, if there are 4 parties in about 6 years or 7, you are actually in a party in 1 year, 0.5. So are we expecting you going to another party in another year?
No.
We're not expecting that.
And you see,
when you change, just to tie that in, when you change political parties like that, in whose interest are you working?
First, when he came out of KANU, it was during the referendum. We had a common position with other parties. I am not the only one who left my party. Everybody else left theirs. Others left LDP, others left Masingira, others left other parties, and we formed ODM, right? And if you talk about moving parties, tell me which politician has not moved parties?
But 2 wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah, fine.
Tonight we're talking about William Ruto.
This is a democracy that is growing. Yeah? We are trying to find ideology behind political parties.
That brings me to my next question. What is
Correct.
your ideology? What's your vision for URP?
Absolutely. Now you have asked the correct question.
I didn't know I've been asking the wrong question.
That is what is important for Kenya.
Please, go ahead.
Kenya wants to know, URP, William Ruto, what is in it for the people of Kenya. Yes. Number one, we believe in URP that the single greatest responsibility we must give to this country, the single greatest challenge we must overcome in this country is to grow our economy. Across in Ethiopia, they are growing their economy at 12%. On the other side of the continent, Ghana is growing its economy at 13%. Kenya's economy is growing at 4%. That is not good. We can grow the Kenyan economy by more than 10%. It is possible.
Okay.
And where are we going to start as URP? Number one,
very quickly,
we
please.
are going to start with making sure that we reduce the cost of living in Kenya so that we make Kenya a competitive destination for investment.
How do you want to do that?
First things first. If you look at the budget of every citizen, between 40 and 60% goes to food and food items. Mm-hmm. That is why you find teachers in the street and doctors. Because the cost of living is going up, they want their salaries to go up.
So what will you do?
A responsible government, under my watch, will ensure that we reduce the cost of living in Kenya by ensuring that we expand food production so that we bring down the cost of food items, manage the budgets of every common man, and ensure that we create an environment where Kenya becomes a destination that is favorable for investment.
Okay. Next.
Expand food production by encouraging, putting money, public money, in farmers' endeavors. Reduce the cost of fertilizer. Make sure affordable certified seeds are available. Expand our irrigation projects, and make sure that food is affordable.
Okay.
That's
a URP government.
Number two.
Please finish quickly. I need to move to the audience.
17 million Kenyans today are below the age of 30, between actually 15 and 30, right? Mm-hmm. That is the engine that is going to turn around this economy. So we need to tap into their talent, their knowledge, their expertise, their enterprise to change Kenya.
Okay.
We will make specific proposals, not general proposals.
Could you give us one specific
I will give
proposal?
You two.
Give me two.
I will give you two. When I was Minister for Higher Education, I said we must expand middle-level colleges. I did 40 in 3 months that I was there. We can do 1,000, so that, because we are moving into a knowledge-based economy, and therefore it's good to arm our young people with the correct technological knowledge for them to fit into a knowledge-based economy.
Next.
And that is why I was opposed to the Kazi kwa Vijana nonsense, right? The one of digging trenches and the rest. That is not where I want to go.
Why are you calling it nonsense on this show? Because it was a government policy.
No, it was a shoddy government policy.
Are you saying government policy was nonsense?
I opposed it in cabinet. I opposed it in public. I opposed it everywhere else because I thought that...
So everything you oppose is nonsense because you oppose the new constitution.
Is
it also nonsense?
That is my opinion.
Okay.
Right? That's my opinion.
All right.
I do believe...
I need to get one question from the audience.
I told you two.
Yeah, give me the second one.
And I'm saying simple, courses like entrepreneurial courses can be offered free of charge, right, at these institutes of technology. Second issue, we must access credit to young people. In fact, I am very happy that in the Standard, their editorial, they have actually mentioned it specifically. And these are issues that I've been battling with in the campaign trail. Majority of the young people cannot access credit because when they go to a credit lending institution, they are asked for a title deed or a logbook or a security, which they don't have. I am proposing...
Let me get one
specific proposal.
Then you answer together, okay?
Specific proposal.
Just one, Mheshimiwa.
Can I make this one specific proposal?
Because I'm waiting, you're not making. So please, let me take a question, then you answer both. One more contribution from the audience. Just one, then, yeah. He's a very enthusiastic young man in black.
Okay. My name is Coach Joel Andranjo Banda, chairman of Nairobi Islanders Roller Skating Club and the head of freestyle skating in Kenya. By the way, my main thing is about the youth. As you've said, the youth are the engine of this country. And as we know, we've been promised all over each and every time. The youth are the ones who vote, we are the ones who heckle, we are the ones who throw stones, we are the ones who do everything. Yeah? But we are the ones who gain the least. We do a lot, but we gain the least. The jobs that we are given are either digging trenches or doing what. So, in your capacity if you get a chance to become the next president of this country, what how will you help us? Like in the example, for example, Kenya is known more in running than in other things. So, what will you assist to tap our talent, especially in things like sport, and take us to another level?
Finish up, Mheshimiwa.
I think he's hit the nail on the head. In terms of, empty, general statements made about youth empowerment. I am going to be making very specific youth empowerment initiative. I have said next year, God willing, we will have a youth fund synonymous with CDF, right? If CDF is 100 million in every constituency every year, we will have a youth empowerment fund, 100 million shillings every constituency every year, to give to young people credit, free of interest, without asking for security, the basis being the quality of the proposal a young person has made.
Okay, I hear you well. I just have one more.
And it is just the beginning of expanding expanding opportunity to millions of young people who have no such access because they are locked out because they cannot access credit.
We have plans of having presidential debates in the next couple of months. Will you be willing to participate?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Correct.
I am looking forward to those debates, so that we can clearly articulate and Kenyans can judge us for what we stand for.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And that brings us to the very end of this week's edition of Agenda Kenya. I thank my guest for that wonderful contribution and my audience for that insightful debate tonight. You can still be part of this discussion by answering this question if you are watching us. Do you trust Honorable William Ruto to be your next president? Do you trust Honorable William Ruto to be your next president? You know the drill. Send your response to the contacts on your screen. And remember to give us your name and where you're watching us from. You can always extend this discussion on our Facebook pages and also Twitter pages, which are running on your screen now. And until next week, goodbye.